Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan Smith. This year I'm teaching your child in Algebra 1 here at Prairie Ridge. Unfortunately, I'm not able to be here at Parent Night tonight. I'm one of our assistant boys golf coaches, and we have a match that I am at tonight. But I want to make a quick video to introduce myself to you, share a little bit about the course and what you can expect. If you have any questions after watching this video, I'm happy to answer those for you. Please feel free to shoot me an email, very simple, rsmith@d155.org, and I'll be sure to get back to you during the same day. I love teaching Algebra 1. I've taught it now for 10 years. It's one of my favorite classes. I think there's a lot of context and real-world skills that students can take away from the course. The biggest thing I want to touch on is the pacing of the course, what a day in class looks like, and what goes into our formative and summative assessment grades. I like to have the students collaborate as much as possible. You'll see that the classroom is set up into pods of 4. So students are constantly interacting with one another, learning to help their peers hold themselves accountable for their learning, but also their classmates as well. The way the class is structured, there's always usually a small section of notes for the day. The majority of the time, the students are going to be exploring ideas on their own, given time to work in class so that they can ask questions and then apply the knowledge that they are learning in class to further applications outside of the classroom. One of the biggest focuses for me is how can I relate the math in class to what students might see later in a career, a trade school, college, so that they can see a purpose to what we're doing in class. For the way I run Algebra 1, it's a little bit different in terms of what you might previously be used to for your child's math class. But we have basically 2 categories in which the grades are divided. We have a summative category, a formative category. The summative assessments are always going to be the assessment of the student's learning. The formative is helps them with that process of learning. So that's the feedback that the students are given, and we do that through a use of what I call skill checks. So our summative assessments are 85% of our grade in here. Those are the tests that come at the end of each unit, and I do offer 2 retakes per semester if the students have completed their formative work. So that's 85% of their grade. The other 15% comes from their formative coursework. I coach basketball and golf here, and the biggest kind of example that I can give for my philosophy on formative assessment is that if we have basketball practice and my team misses all of their free throws on Tuesday night, but we have a game on Wednesday and the team makes all of the free throws, the students shouldn't be penalized for the ones, or the players wouldn't be penalized for the ones they missed in practice on Tuesday. So the way homework works in here is students will upload their assignment to Canvas. They'll be given a score of a 0 or a 5 based on completion. If an assignment is turned in late, they can still earn the 5 points, but those 5 points do not count towards the final grade of the semester or towards the formative category. So if a student turns in all of their homework or doesn't turn in any of their homework for the first unit, that doesn't impact the student's grade. What does impact the student's grade are the skill checks that we do here in class. Now, the idea behind this philosophy is that if you are keeping up with your daily practice, you will do well on the skill checks. If you are not keeping up with the daily practice, the skill checks are going to be more difficult. So I give a skill check. If I teach a lesson on Monday, we might take a skill check on Wednesday. It covers the material from Monday's lesson, but students are able to use their formative practice, their homework from Monday and Tuesday, and any notes we have taken up to that point to help them for that skill check on Wednesday. Our skill checks are short. They're 4 to 5 questions. They take about 10 minutes. The students do them individually, and they have time to collaborate with the people in their pods, make corrections, ask questions, get feedback as needed. They make those changes in a different color. We then go over the skill checks together as a class, and the students self-assess themselves on a rubric from 2.5 to 5 points. And the whole idea of the rubric is that they are scoring themselves based on their mastery for a skill and not just how many they got right or how many they got wrong. So even if you make a computational mistake, a student can still earn 5 out of 5 on the rubric because they've mastered the learning targets or the skills needed for that skill check. So the daily practice, it's not about what assignments can I turn in to improve my grade. Those assignments help prepare you for our kind of in-class quizzes that I call skill checks, and then our summative assessments at the end. And that's kind of really what I've hoped to do is put the focus on preparing for the assessment and buying into the process and doing things along the way, and not doing assignments because they think it's related to points, which is going to either have a positive or negative impact on their grade. So the focus in this class is on assessment. I let the students take ownership of that 15%. It allows them to get feedback in the moment. They receive the feedback that day, it's scored, it goes into Canvas, it goes into Skyward, and then it goes directly back to them in their hands so they can prepare for the summative assessment. So as you guys check Skyward, or whether you're checking Canvas with your student, the homework assignments will always be no counted towards the formative grade, but any work that is assigned outside the classroom will go in the grade book so you can see how your student is keeping up with the work that is going to help prepare them for that summative assessment. My free periods are 4, 6, and 9. 6th hour I'm in the STEM Center, which is a math support and resource center that we offer to all of our students here at PR. And we encourage students to use that anytime they may need help outside of the classroom, especially during a period that I'm not available. I'm happy to sit down and work one-on-one when students need help. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about the class or your students' performance. I am a big advocate for students learning to advocate for themselves and have difficult conversations. So if you or your student has a question about their grade, I always encourage the student to reach out to me first. I'm happy to schedule a time to talk after class, during a free period, before school, if that's what works best. But together, I think if everyone is on the same page and on the same team this semester, your child has a great opportunity to be successful and prepare themselves for the math classes that they'll be taking in the future here at Prairie Ridge. I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please contact me with any questions or concerns, and I look forward to working with you this semester. Have a great evening.